Es gibt in der ganzen Natur keinen wichtigeren, keinen betrachtungswürdigeren Gegenstand als Boden. These are the words of Friedrich Albert Fallow, the founder of modern soil science, 150 years ago. And sadly, it looks like we again haven't listened to the scientist. Our own European Environmental Agency clearly says that the absence of suitable EU soil legislation contributes to the soil degradation within Europe. The lack of comprehensive and coherent soil policy framework for protecting Europe's land and soil resources is the key gap that reduces the effectiveness of the existing incentives and measures and limits the ability to achieve our goals, including the European Green Deal and climate neutrality. So again, Europe is not on the track to protect its limited soil resources based on the existing strategies. And what more, number of threats to the soil, like compaction, like salinization, like soil sealing, are not even addressed in the EU legislation at all. And due to that, we are failing to meet our international obligations, for example, within the Sustainable Development Goals. We hear a lot about the chemicals, the biodiversity, but I want to point out one particular problem with the soil, and that we're losing carbon from the soil. We're losing carbon and adding to the greenhouse gas emission, where soil could be the amazing carbon sink, the natural carbon sink, just when we do things right and change our agricultural policies. And there is no soil without life. They are inseparable. The living beings make the soil alive. They make the difference between just a mass of mineral particles. Yet we are destroying this life. We are destroying this life with overuse of hazardous pesticide, with overuse of nitrates and other synthetic fertilizers. Protecting soil means protecting life. As a result of the political squabbling in the past, we have lost the chance to have the legal framework for soil so far, but I hope that the times are changing. The planned revision of the soil thematic strategy from 2006 is a great and welcomed step from the Commission, but it's not enough. It is our responsibility to correct the past mistakes and conserve the soil for future generations. We therefore call on the Commission to work with the Member States on closing the gaps in soil protection by proposing an EU-wide common legal framework, of course with the full respect of subsidiarity principle for the protection and suitable use of soil. A legal framework that will address all main soil threats, include criteria for its good status, measurable targets, clarify responsibility of stakeholders, and last but not least, ensure policy coherence. So the left hand knows what the right hand is doing, and often that's not happening. We believe that overarching policy at the EU level with clear definitions will not only bring many opportunities for the landowners and ensure well-functioning internal market, but most importantly, it will ensure there is a life on the planet and there is a food on our tables. So I would really like to ask the Council if, in the context of the objectives of the EU on the climate change and biodiversity, does the Council overall support a common EU legal framework for soil protection at EU level and commit to prevent further degradation and to treat soil as a common resource and ecosystem? And what actions is Council considering in order to facilitate future legal framework on soil protection? And on the Commission, what are the main challenges that you see to the adequate soil protection within the EU? And how these challenges would benefit from a common approach, noting also the private ownership of the land? How do you plan to battle the loss of soil organic matters in soil, the degradation of soil and desertification? Will the Commission propose a new legislation on soil protection and its sustainable use? And what elements would such a legislation include? And is the Commission planning to include financial instruments and technical support as a part of its proposal? Because it's not only about telling the farmers, for example, but the landowners in general what to do, it's also about giving them the proper tools and the means to deliver. Thank you very much.